Hey, hello YouTube. How are you today? It's Monday morning on my side of the planet. Don't know where you're at, but I'm going to wish you a happy Monday morning too. Get a cup of coffee. I want to talk to you for a minute about spells, incantations, rituals. None of it's necessary. Absolutely none of it's necessary. Candle color. No, none of it is necessary. I want to caution you to be careful, especially if you're practicing, you think you're a white witch, and I'm going to offend some of my Wiccan friends. I have a ton of them. But if you're not careful, any time you call on another world deity, they're going to take something in return. Okay? So it's not necessary. If you're needing to rid a location or your home of, let's say you think you have a bad energy, perhaps, you don't need a lot of ritual. It's not about ritual. Again, don't call forth other deities to do the task because it's just not necessary. If you're doing incantations and you're doing candle rituals, you're doing way too much. It's not necessary. Absolutely not necessary. A lot of it's dangerous. You're calling up the universe to do something and provide you with something in a way that's not a natural flow. And the universe is going to give us what we need in the right time, in the right flow. And a lot of this just isn't absolutely necessary. Some of it can border on the dark side. I have, over the course of the last year, I have helped 6 people who were practicing black witchcraft, I guess I'm going to call it that, get a hold of me and ask me to help them step away from that and into the light. Their lives were going to shit. They were calling on Hecates. They were talking to Lucifer. Getting things done. Yeah. And their lives, every one of them, all from little different areas, but every one of them, their lives absolutely exploded in their faces. With relationship issues, drug issues, financial issues, their lives just fell a fucking part because they were worshiping the dark side. I am absolutely a light worker. And I believe that light source comes from God's source. Okay? To me, it's the same God source that Jesus understood. I'll put it that way. Jesus understood him a whole lot better than a whole lot of other people did that came along, but we'll put it that way. I am not a witch. I was raised Catholic. You're going to find that there are an awful lot of Catholic psychics. Teresa Caputo, Chip Coffey was raised Catholic. Kim Russo, a lot of the great psychics, mediums were raised Catholic. And that is even borderline too much ritual. Now, some of that is comforting in your life when we go through the ritual, perhaps, of a funeral. And that's kind of what that is, we've done it for so long that we need it to just comfort ourselves with a funeral. And some of that's kind of understandable. You know, you need to let people go and do it in the right time. But getting back to the other issue of ritual and even white practice, white witchcraft, just be careful. You don't even, I'm getting to the point of telling you how and where to ask for that. Prayer to God, that's fine. That's absolutely the way we were trained as kids, pray to God. Okay, you can light a candle. You know, most churches, Catholic Church in particularly, you see rows and banks of candles. So, you know, light a candle. It's okay. You know, you don't need to you don't need to do the incense, and you don't need to get the crystals out. Technically, you know, that's all bullshit. I mean, that stuff does work, but what you're going to do is you're going to connect your heart to your God source. Straight connection. Don't need any of this other mumbo jumbo in the way. You connect through love. You have to start with yourself. Oh, hello, Maggie. You got a bite in the butt. You start with love for yourself, and then for everyone and everything. Just that simple. If you want to attract good things in your life, just take on that simple concept. Love everyone and everything. It wasn't until I became, you know, well into my psychic years that I realized that all animals have a soul. So you've got to love those everythings. Those are the everythings also. Dogs, cats, those things, their souls are a whole lot more visible. But as my psychic ability developed, I could see the spirit of horses and cows. I have seen goats and deer in spirit. I've seen chickens in spirit. Few other things, rabbits in spirit. But getting back to the ritual, it's not necessary. It's not necessary. If you're using banks of candles and you're calling down incantations and you don't need to. Just love. Just love where you're at. Just love who you are, and then connect. Connect to source. You get that message straight across. Invite source into your heart. You know, they told us that as kids in Sunday school. Invite God into your heart. Now, whatever your name is for God, God source, great spirit, however the universe even, however you connect, just do that. In the light, just love. And that's why I always, every time I wrap up, tell you guys just, oh, look at that orb. It just went right around. I could just see it on the screen. Every time I wrap up with you guys, I send you love and light. Next time.